Hey, how's it going? My name is Wes. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to go over the fundamentals part 2, which is a green lesson, fundamentals. So in the previous green fundamentals lesson, we actually learned some helpful words and phrases such as sí, no, tal vez, perdón, por favor, and so forth. And so today I would like to add on to these helpful words or phrases. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into this fundamentals lesson part 2. So the first word, which is actually just a letter that we will learn today, is the word o.
O.
And this means or in Spanish.
O.
Alright, and then the second word, or actually also a letter that we will learn today, is y.
Y.
Which means end in Spanish. So or,
O.
and, end.
Y.
Alright, then the next phrase we will learn is I'm learning Spanish. This is quite a helpful phrase to have other people understand that you're still learning Spanish. I'm pretty sure that we've already seen this sentence before, but again, it's a very helpful phrase that you can use to have other people understand that you are learning Spanish.
Estoy aprendiendo español. Estoy aprendiendo español.
And as you can tell here, español is written without capital letters, and that is actually something that happens in the Spanish language. That's different to the English language, which is that in Spanish we do not use capital letters for languages. So Spanish, in English you would write with a capital S. In Spanish we actually write it without capitals. So estoy aprendiendo español. I'm learning Spanish. Let's move on. My Spanish is a bit bad. Mi español es un poco malo. Or mi español es malo. My Spanish is bad.
Mi español es un poco malo. Mi español es un poco malo.
And you can use this phrase to cover up for any faults that you make. So if you make any faults in Spanish, you can say, lo siento, mi español es un poco malo. And you can laugh a little bit and maybe make fun of yourself a little bit like, I'm pretty bad in Spanish. But because you say this, you can now keep practicing and probably make a couple mistakes, but it maybe doesn't feel as bad anymore to make those mistakes. So, mi español es un poco malo. My Spanish is a bit bad. Then the next word is
Muy. Muy.
which means very. So for example, if you would want to say, my Spanish is very bad, then you could say,
Mi español es muy malo. Mi español es muy malo.
Alright, the next word is
Lo siento. Lo siento.
which means I'm sorry in Spanish. So now you can say, I'm sorry, my Spanish is a bit bad, which is a full phrase, but we've just learned it. You say, lo siento, mi español es un poco malo. And then usually if you say something along these lines, people will reply with this sentence.
Está bien. Está bien.
Which means it's okay, or it's good.
Está bien.
Or another word that people might use to reply, which is actually one of my favorite words in Spanish, is
Tranquilo. Tranquilo.
or,
Tranquila. Tranquila.
and this means it's okay, but more in a way of like, relax, it's okay.
Tranquilo. Tranquila.
Alright, then the next phrase is
No pasa nada. No pasa nada.
it's alright, or literally translated, nothing happens. No pasa nada. Then the next word is actually a very famous word which you will probably hear a lot around you, which is
Vale. Vale.
and the V here is more pronounced as a B, so vale. Not vale or veil, but vale,
Vale.
which means okay. Then the next word is
Bueno. Bueno.
or,
Buena. Buena.
which means good or well. And you can hear this word being used in different ways. So people could say, well, which is bueno, and then they continue their sentence. Or it can also be used as a way of saying good. So bueno, buena, good or well. And then the last word we will learn in this fundamentals lesson, which is amigo or amiga.
Amigo. Amiga.
Which means friend in Spanish. Amigo for masculine friend and amiga for feminine friend. Or if we were talking about multiple friends, then we say amigos or amigas.
Amigos. Amigas.
All right, so let's go over everything that we've learned one more time.
Oh. Y. Estoy aprendiendo español. Mi español es un poco malo. Muy. Lo siento. Está bien. Tranquilo. Tranquila. No pasa nada. Vale. Bueno. Buena. Amigo. Amiga. Amigos. Amigas.
All right, and that's the end of this green fundamentals lesson. And in these green fundamentals lesson, we learn words and phrases that are helpful in general for developing and leveling up your Spanish. So perhaps some of these words or sentences that we learned today might not really have a clear structure. However, I really recommend you to learn these words by heart because they are words that you will come across and use very often in the Spanish language. Alright, so without further ado, that's it for this lesson. Again, as always, I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to help you out. And also for an overview of today's lesson and a PDF file, you can go to my website, SpanishWithWes.com, which contains all of the information in one place. I'll leave a link down in the description. Alright, that's it for this lesson. I would love to see you in the next one. For now, I'm going to say bye, hasta luego, nos vemos, adios.